Before we get into the video,
I just want to let you guys know that about 1 in every 4 of my viewers are
subscribed.
and my goal is to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button as my mouse scrotter runs around me like a
Madman.
It helps to notify you every time I upload a video, as well as getting my content pushed out to a wider audience. Regardless, that's enough self-promotion from me. Hope you guys enjoy the video.
Let's get right into it.
All right, NBBL semifinals going up against Eli and the March of the Ice Cube. This is a team that we actually battled in the regular season, and we did beat this team. In my opinion, I don't really like rematches because I have to kind of predict what my opponent will change, whereas my opponent just kind of makes changes based on why they lost. So a few things. He did bring Choice Scarf Tornadus Therian in that matchup, which was kind of cool. It's also important to note that my transactions, I don't think were in effect when we had this battle. So I did not have Skarmory, I had Arcaludon. He did use Terra Fairy, I think max attack Sandaconda, so that was kind of cool. Court Change Cinderace makes me not want to run hazards in the first place, but he's only got hazards in the form of Stealth Rock, Sandaconda, and Copperajah. So hazards shouldn't really play much of a role in this game, I don't think. So with all that being said, let's get right into the team that I've built. All right, first up I got chien-pao, which is a Focus Sash set. I have 160 EVs into HP, max attack, 4 into defense, and 92 into speed. I have the Focus Sash there just as kind of a way to ensure I can get a Swords Dance up as long as hazards are not on the field. That's going to be really helpful against a potential Iron Hands or Cinderace or Scarf Tornadus, like I alluded to. Now, if I'm able to force a switch and get a Swords Dance there, then the Focus Sash could still be really helpful in order to take a hit from a low kicks with the first impression. Or, if the low kicks is already gone, I can potentially get another Swords Dance off. I don't need to Speed Creep Tornadus or Cinderace because I'm just clicking Sucker Punch against those two anyway. Next up is Skarmory. I got just a physically defensive set here. Now, this is pretty much my Palafin answer. I know I have an Appletun and a Blastoise on the team, but I figured Skarmory does the best against it because I can kind of counter his setting up with Bulk Up. I can click Iron Defense into a Body Press, and even though he can Bulk Up, I'm obviously boosting quicker than he is. The Rocky Helmet's also going to be nice for, just consistent chip damage. Iron Head's really nice in case he does bring Hatterene. Now, last time he didn't, but I figured there's really nothing else I need on this set. This Pokemon can also deal with Tornadus decently well as long as it's not a Nasty Plot set. But if it is a Choice Scarf set like it was last time, I feel like Skarmory can deal with it relatively well. All right, next up is Blastoise. We have a little mixed defensive set here, max HP with 116 EVs in physical defense, 144 into special defense with a sassy nature. Sassy because I want to be slower than Sandaconda. We're Terra Water because I don't really care about being a poison or an electric type in this matchup, to be honest. And I have a different Terra Captain on this team that I expect to Terra like 9 times out of 10 in this matchup. So we got Flip Turn, Rapid Spin, Surf, and Ice Beam. This Pokemon can take hits from a few different things. It's really nice for Cinderace and Tornadus. I can't really say it's nice for Palafin because Palafin can set up all over it, but at least I can come in, soak a hit, and then Flip Turn out before it gets too out of hand. Ice Beam is nice for the Tornadus as well as the Hydrapple. Felt like I just wanted another bulky pivot. Blastoise has been really good this season, and it also, provides Rapid Spin. So, all right, next up is Galarian Zapdos. We are Choice Scarf, just like last time. I think it's probably the same exact set or close to it. 196 EVs into HP, 252 in attack with an Adamant Nature, and 60 into speed. This will outspeed Tornadus, Therian if he's max speed but not Scarf. Brave Bird, CC, Drill Peck, and U-Turn. Knockoff could be cool, but I figured Bird Spam is pretty decent against this team. He only has 1 resistance, which is Copperajah. If I don't want to take the recoil, I figure that's helpful. Choice Scarf Gyarados did really well last time we faced this team, so I figure I'll just bring it back. Okay, Totality is making a return. This is a very similar team, to be honest, that I brought last time, but Facade, Earthquake, Substitute, and Trailblaze. With the Flame Orb, of course, we have max HP, 212 EVs into attack, 24 into defense, and 24 into speed, with an Adamant Nature. So the defensive investment is just so that I could potentially set up on Sandaconda. With no attack investment, I can Trailblaze on the switch in, and then I can Substitute, and he cannot break a substitute with Earthquake. That'll be nice just to kind of, get a substitute up so that we don't have to worry as much about, a high jump kick Cinderace that wants to revenge or Palafin. I think Facade plus Earthquake is still just really good against this team. It's really good against most teams. Last but not least, we got Bad Apple, the Appletun. Max HP, 144 EVs into physical defense, 92 into special defense, and 24 into speed. This is also a very similar set to last time. He does have a Grass type in Hydrapple, but Hydrapple doesn't want to really switch into Dracos. I have Terra Fairy because Fairy is a great defensive typing. I've been using Terra Fairy all season with this thing, and it's worked out really well. Thick Fat is actually pretty nice for like a Cinderace or a potential Palafin that wants to click Ice Punch. The special defense investment is pretty much there so I can take any 2 hits from Tornadus, as long as he doesn't get like crits or anything like that, or if he's like specs. But I'm not too concerned about that. I feel like Draco Meteor is just a good kind of surprise move to click here. They'll take the hit, it's just going to do more than, you know, what is to be expected from an Appletun. Appletun has been another tried and true this season, so hoping it comes in clutch yet again. That's going to be it for me as far as the team builder. Going to go ahead and cut the video right here, and I'll see you guys in the battle. All right, amigos, I got a post-com battle for you yet again. It's been a rough week as far as scheduling, so that's okay. We got Eli here bringing the Low Kicks, Hatterene, Tornadus, Iron Hands, Kalpurajaw, and Palafin. When I say rough as far as scheduling, it's rough as far as, you know, me trying to get the live com off and not just doing post com, because I'm pretty sure most people appreciate live com, but it's not like an actual issue with scheduling. Anyway, my opponent does bring a few changes from last time. I see the Hatterene and the Kalpurajaw. Neither of those came to our first face-off, I suppose, in the regular season. So that's interesting. I do lead Zapdos just because it's scarfed and it did well last time, and I'm just going to lead with it because it can grab me some early game momentum. So we're going to go ahead and U-turn on the swap. Now, I don't really know what I expected here. I expected more so Iron Hands, but he goes into Hat, which is cool. This damage tells him he's physically defensive. Also, what he didn't bring this time around was the Terra Sandaconda and the Cinderace. Cinderace I was kind of surprised about, but yep, he goes back into, or not back into, but with the eject pack, by the way. If you saw that, he had an eject pack or an eject button, one of the two. So he gets some momentum instead of us getting momentum. Now I swap here because I don't know if this is Choice Scarfed Tornadus or not. Basically, last time he brought Choice Scarfed Tornadus, so I didn't want to risk that. That doesn't mean he has to be this time, but it's very possible. So I go into Blastoise as my little pivot. He's able to U-turn into Palafin, and this looks like a similar set to last time with the substitute. I figured there's no reason not to flip turn. I'll take any one hit and I'll see what he wants to do as far as, whatever he wants to do. So we're just going to go into Appletun. I consider going Skarmory, but I don't really want to mess around with this thing under a sub, behind a sub. I don't want to try to set up on it and all that. I figured I'll just go into Appletun and spam Apple Acid. That's just kind of better against my opponent's team. Now he goes for Whirlpool, which would have trapped me in if it had connected, but it did not connect. So we're not going to have to worry about that. That will obviously do some residual damage every turn. Now I do have leftovers to help, mediate that, but it still would have been nice for my opponent to trap me in and do some damage to Appletun. I'm just going to spam Apple Acid, like I said. This Hatterene comes in. That's looking like it. I think he's going to live on a sliver, and I really don't want to, get nuzzled or something. So I do just kind of end up switching into Ursaluna. I also haven't Terra'd, if you noticed, because I didn't want to Terra just yet, in case that, Grass Dragon typing will help me out against something like a Palafin. Or I think there was one other Pokemon that I wanted to keep it. Oh, Kalpurajaw, so I'm not weak to the Iron Head or Heavy Slam. So I predict the Nuzzle there, and I go into Ursaluna, which is great for me. Now we could have gone Dazzling Gleam, but I know he's physically defensive, and I knew that Dazzling Gleam was not going to do. It was going to do like 30%, so I wasn't too concerned about that. Either way, I still get my Ursaluna in, and I get pretty much a free kill. So gonna knock that Pokemon out with Facade, and then I see Lokix come in, and I'm like, okay, that's strange. I would have expected a Palafin. So last time he was Terra Bug, I think. I just know he was either Terra Dark or Bug. I know he wasn't fighting. So I'm going to go Skarmory here, hoping, or not really hoping any particular thing, but I'm expecting him to click Terra Fighting Axe Kick, which if you don't know what Axe Kick it is, I'm pretty sure it's low kick's signature move, and it has a chance to miss, but also has a chance to confuse the target. So I was expecting to see that, but he actually used for low kick, which does do slightly more to Ursaluna, so that makes sense that he'd bring that, but it just doesn't do that much to Skarmory, and the Rocky Helmet is going to do its work. So here I'm going to click Iron Defense because looking at my opponent's team, what's left, there really isn't much to take this on directly. unless he has Heat Wave Tornadus. If he brought in Tornadus there, I probably just would have swapped, and he would have kind of had to click Heat Wave because that's the only move to prevent Skarmory from just setting up all over the Tornadus. But he goes Big Weld, which is the Iron Hands. Now, I'm at +2. I know that even if he's max attack Adamant, I should be able to just stay in and kind of do some big damage at least once. And he actually outspeeds me here, which tells me that he has considerable speed investment, which also tells me that he will not take this body press very well. Or he's weaker, like he has to sacrifice something, either power or bulk, if he's that fast. And he clearly sacrificed some power, because that's telling me he's like no attack investment. Or at most, he's like Adamant Nature with no attack investment. So he does have leftovers as well. And here I consider swapping, just because I don't really, I don't really want to let this Skarmory get too low. But he does just click Substitute. Now, I figured I could take another Supercell Slam. I mean, I knew I could, barring a crit, but, I figured just getting the Roost off would be pretty cool there. Now, this is kind of a mistake on my part this next turn. I should have realized that he was going to attack me with Supercell Slam, and that I should have just clicked Roost. But Body Press, I was just trying to break this up. I wasn't really thinking. I guess he could have clicked Swords Dance here if he had it, but it didn't look like he had that. So he's going to get a crit here. So he's going to bypass my physical defense, and he's going to almost knock me out, and the Rocky Helmet knocks him out. So if I had clicked Roost there, I would have been fine. I would have been above. I would have been at like 65%-ish, 60-65, which would have been much better than where I'm at now in critical range. Because now there's very few avenues for me to be able to Roost up. And if you look at the rest of my opponent's team, I may have just swept him with Skarmory. So that's a bit unfortunate that he got the crit there. But you live and you learn, you move on. We got to keep playing the battle. Low Kicks is going to be the switch in for my opponent. I'm going to go into Bad Apple here because I don't expect him to click a U-turn, because that will not knock out Skarmory. I think that's just way too risky to click there. So I'll go into Bad Apple, and obviously U-turn would have done big damage because it's super effective here, because I'm still a grass type. But he clicks Low Kick, which is fine. Obviously that's stab because he's Terra Fighting, but it just doesn't do that much. It just doesn't do that much. Gonna click Leech Seed here with the Terra Fairy. So we're going to Terrastallize, and I'm expecting a U-turn here. This will still do decent damage because of Tinted Lens, but that's fine, because as barring a Leech Seed miss, we should be able to get a healthy chunk of HP back from anything that he wants to bring in, because his Hatterene going down so early ensures that we don't have to worry about Magic Bounce. So, yep, Tornadus is going to swap in. We're going to get the health, and that's fine. I don't really, unless it's like Sludge Wave Tornadus, I don't really care. I am just going to stay in here, and I believe I click Apple Acid, I think. Yeah, this turn I click Apple Acid because I figure he's probably going to U-turn. He just hard swaps, which is interesting. I don't know why he didn't just click U-turn. Maybe he was afraid of the Skarmory switch in, but it doesn't matter because you're a Regenerator. So he's going to go into Low Kicks. That does a lot of damage because Low Kicks is it's like a paper bag. It just doesn't take anything. I mean, that's an uninvested it's an apple pie throwing acid at you, and you almost drop to one hit. It's crazy. So I click Leech Seed again because I don't think he's staying in. Now I could have gone Skarmory here. I was expecting the U-turn. I could have gone Skarmory to get him in range of after this Rocky Helmet chip, he would have been in range of another Rocky Helmet chip, and there's really nothing he could have done about that. But I just figured it wasn't really worth risking. I want to still try to get Skarmory healed up against something like a Kapura draw. It's just going to be tough to leverage that if Kapura draw has not knocked something out. So he's going to go ahead and go for the Bleak Wind Storm here with the Tornadus. Now this turn I just clicked Draco because I wanted to do some damage, and luckily we do connect. Appletun has been an absolute dog this season in actually connecting with moves, so that's cool. And we're going to get the leftovers and the Leech Seed. So here, I'm a little bit above half. You don't really see it because of the big-ass face cam. But I figure it's just not worth risking, unless he gets like a max roll or a crit or something. I really want Appletun around for most things on my opponent's team at this point. He goes Kapura Jaw, so he swaps as well. He didn't want to risk his Tornadus. The Tornadus, when it comes back in, is still going to be under half, so I'm not too concerned about that. Riptide's my just kind of dedicated pivot into Tornadus. So we're going to flip turn here because I don't really want that Palafin to come in for free. So I get that play right. He's going to swap right into Palafin. I figure even if I click Surf against Copper, he could just have Power Whip and be like Assault Vest. And if he stayed in there, I just would have gone Skarmory. And if he knocks me out, he knocks me out. But yeah, so here I have kind of free reign to go into whatever I want. We're going to end up going Ursaluna because with Sub and Whirlpool, I just don't think he has like a Liquidation. He's got to have Jet Punch, right? I don't think he has like a strong Water Stab. In that case, he just kind of loses to a few things on my team. So he does Sub here, and I'm going to speed the video up here because, yeah. I just don't see... I didn't really want to cut up that much. It's just going to be a lot of quick turns in succession of him clicking Sub and me clicking Facade. And then I realized, okay, at this point, max HP Palafin, in all likelihood, I would need an absolute minimum roll to not knock him out with Trailblaze. So we're going to click Trailblaze here, and if he clicks Jet Punch or whatever, we'll get a speed boost. I should have been clicking Trailblaze the entire time, because then he would have just been like, okay, I can't let this thing boost too much. Otherwise, it's going to, you know, outspeed my entire team. So I get that one, and I get up to +1 here. But of course, like, I didn't want to Trailblaze in case he just attacks, because at the range he was at, above half, he likely doesn't drop to 1. So if he just Jet Punches twice, he knocks me out. So I think I still played that pretty well. Trailblaze is going to knock him out from that range. We're going to be at +2 speed. That's still not quick enough to outspeed Tornadus. Ursaluna is a fat, slow goober, but that's okay. Tornadus is going to come in here, Hurricane. I guess he doesn't like the move Hurricane. That's why he's using Bleak Wind Storm. And I'm just going to sack Ursaluna. I'm trying to calc and see if, you know, I could potentially outspeed this, but I just don't, especially if he's Scarfed. I don't even think he has to have the Scarf. So we're going to attack him here. There's really nothing to swap in. I mean, it's the playoffs. I don't care about differential. It doesn't matter. And, yeah, so he's going to Grass Knot there. He may or may not be locked into that. Like I said, I have a strong suspicion that he is Scarfed, but I don't know for sure. So we're going to go into Katana because if he's not Scarfed, we should outspeed him. And even if he isn't and he outspeeds me and he clicks Heat Wave, I am Focus Dashed, so I will be fine. I will click the Crunch here because it knocks out this, it knocks out the low kicks on switch in, and it does a lot to Copper. I wanted to Swords Dance, but if he's like Rocky Helmet Copper, then that's not good. Even though, I mean, it's going to break my stash anyway if I click Crunch. I don't know. Maybe I should have just clicked Swords Dance. But he's going to go to low kicks and sack that. I thought he'd go into Copper, but you'll see it's more of an offensive Copper draw, so and it's not Rocky Helmet, so potentially it just drops to 2. I'm actually curious about that. I never actually looked that up, so I think I'll calc that right now. Because there's, I mean, yeah. Anyway, he's going to go into Copper draw now. You're going to hear my little thing. Okay. Does a max HP Copper draw take 2? It definitely does not. It's 55% minimum. So, yeah, I mean, I could have swept there with chien-pao. It doesn't really matter, though. I mean, I'm in a pretty commanding position at this point. He's going to go Iron Head. And, you know, that tells me that he's, you know, Sheer Force, max attack adamant with that damage. Iron Head is boosted by Sheer Force, so that's good to know. I'm going to flip turn, go into Scars. Here I was expecting him to click Power Whip if he had it. This is really my only chance of getting Skarmory healed up. So he's going to go knock out my Skarmory. I don't really care. You know, that was the only opportunity to heal it up. And at this point, it doesn't really matter. At the time, the crit really kind of peeved me. But looking back on, obviously, you know, it is what it is. We're going to go into Gyapdos here. And the reason being, I still don't know if this Copper Jaw has Rocky Helmet or if it has some sort of trick for chien-pao. So we're going to just go into Meep Meep and Close Combat. Now, because of Regenerator, I don't think Torn drops the 2 of these, but that's fine. It does more than Regenerator will give him, I'm pretty sure. So even if he swaps, it's okay. We still have the pieces to win. He stays in, and he has the Chople Berry. So that's going to allow him to live on a sliver of health and click Play Rough. I'm pretty sure he could have just clicked Iron Head and still knocked me out, but that's kind of sad for Zapdos, because Zapdos deserves better. But now we're going to go into chien-pao, and he's going to pick up the last 2 kills. So classic chien-pao, just kind of grabbing random kills because it's just that good. And that's going to be it. There's really nothing Tornadus can do, even if he is choice scarfed. I mean, I guess it could get a heat wave burn, but heat wave I'm pretty sure will not even bring me down to my sash. And you know, a burned ice spinner probably still knocks him out. I mean, ice spinner plus sucker definitely knocks him out. So see, now you know, when I do the post com, I get to kind of look things up. I did a decent chunk, but like nothing crazy, right? No, that is kind of crazy. Okay, so I don't think he was modest. So a heat wave, does a heat wave knock me out? No, a heat wave plus burn still doesn't knock me out. So GG. I tried to do a little, I don't know what I did, GGC. That's not what I meant to type, but Primeape sleeping in the background. We just put Eli to sleep. Now there's a chance I battle Eli in the finals because it's a little double elimination situation. So we're not going to have a battle next week, NBBL, because next week is the semifinals for the lower bracket. So Eli's going to go down to the lower bracket. Whoever wins that one plays Eli, and whoever wins that battle plays me in the finals. So it should be fun for sure. Yeah, that's going to be it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.